In today's video, we're going to share a triplex house hack in the city of Toronto that if you were to purchase, you could live in one of the units for a very low cost and build an insane amount of equity over time. So let's check it out. All right, so this is the property. It is currently listed for 1.16 million. It was listed originally for $999, and I believe they held offers. It didn't sell, so they've now relisted it at the price that I'm guessing they're hoping for to sell, and it's been on the market now for a little while. It is located in the area between Eglinton and St. Clair, and to the east of Jane Street. Funny story, I actually used to live in the Junction area when I went into high school at Humberside Collegiate in sort of the High Park area. So not too far, different neighborhood, but not too far. And especially the Junction has had some incredible developments over the last little while. So I kind of grew up seeing all the stores that I was used to get completely moved around, and the buildings renovated and the street completely changing. So definitely a lot of that happening. So I think even this property over time, you're going to see some very nice appreciation being in the city of Toronto. But we're going to do a quick video tour that is available on YouTube by the listing agent. So let's check it out here. So very nice quality building. I love this style of property. It's a purpose-built triplex. So I believe we're in the basement units. We only really see the basement and the upper unit, the second unit on the main floor. They don't really show us inside, but that's going to be a key part of this house hacking strategy. So again, we're in the basement, but huge windows even in the basement, which is a really nice part of this type of property, a raised bungalow style of property, even though it's a two-story. It has these huge windows in the basement, which makes it really appealing. I love these style of properties. So currently the basement is tenant occupied. I believe it is rented for 1,400 plus hydro, and all three units have separate hydro meters, which is quite nice. So if you were to live in one unit, you pay your own hydro and probably the mechanicals, but then each unit pays for their own hydro, which is very nice. Okay, we're in the upper unit now. So the upper unit on the second floor is currently vacant. Looks to have, a cosmetic renovation already done. So the flooring looks decent, paint looks decent. The kitchen cabinets look a little bit older, but the countertop looks nice. So yeah, it looks rent ready. In my opinion, maybe you want to swap up the appliances for stainless steel if you want to, but they already look in decent shape. So I would personally be leaving it just the way it is. And so the main floor and the second floor unit are 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom units, and the basement unit is a 1-bed, 1-bathroom. So something interesting to consider. Not huge apartments, but still very nice for the city of Toronto. And there's a laneway down the middle between this property and the neighbor, and the backyard is pretty much fully paved for parking. So great when you have 3 separate apartments that tenants and yourself can move in and out easily. There's a shed back there as well, and just parking spaces that you can independently enter and exit, which is very nice. All right, so let's get into the actual property. So again, triplex, it's a 5-bedroom, right? 2 bedrooms per unit on the upper 2 and 1 in the basement, 3 full bathrooms. It's in the Rockcliffe area. The unique part is that the second floor unit is actually rented for $1,345 plus hydro. For a 2-bedroom main floor unit, that is significantly under market. So with this particular property, the way that I see how you can make sense of the numbers in terms of this purchase price in terms of this purchase would be to actually ask for the vacant possession of the main floor unit. This is legally allowed if you as the purchaser or your family is willing to move into that unit. So you can get that unit vacant based on the condition. Maybe you do some updates, maybe you don't, and you'll be able to live in the main floor. The upper unit is already vacant, so you can rent that out. And the basement, I would personally leave the basement tenant. From the video, it seems to be in decent shape, and they're already paying $1,400 for a 1-bedroom basement unit, which is not, terribly low by any means. So I think it's If they're a good tenant and they're already living there, you get to collect the rent checks from day one, and you just focus on making the main floor unit to your standard, and then renting out the upper unit to get some cash flow. So in the listing, they also say that the upper unit was rented for $1,600 plus hydro, but is now vacant. In my opinion, $1,600 is a very low rent for a 2-bedroom, second floor apartment in the city of Toronto. And the reason why I say that, if we head over here to PadMapper, this is sort of the neighborhood. You can see this is the street that our listing is on. If we look at some of the neighboring properties, so this is the closest property that's available for rent now. Much higher end property, definitely not comparable in its current shape. But this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath unit that, again, fully renovated, fully done up. But this is currently available for rent for $2,700. If we look over here, this is in a bit of an older style apartment building. So in my opinion, more people would like to live in a low-rise triplex than they would in a large building like this. So this particular property, it's been virtually staged, you can see here, but it's typically the 70s style apartment building that has had some updates. It seems flooring, even the kitchen looks to be in decent shape, not super high end, but in decent shape. Decent bathroom, nothing super high end. The balcony is a nice feature, but even this is listed for $2,319, and then this property over here is listed for $2,275. This is actually looks to be a basement, so you can see a raised bungalow basement like the basement on our subject property, but you can see the car outside is at the grade of the window level. Nice renovation for sure, right? Looks to have been done. Nice renovation. In-suite laundry, which is a nice plus. I don't know yet the laundry situation on our property, but if possible, I would always add separate laundry to each unit, unless there's a nicely set up common laundry space in the property already. All right. How does the numbers play out? So that is a key part of our house hacking type of strategy. So for this property, we're going to use our house hacking profitability calculator. So this is a calculator that we've developed here at Team Koukun. You can get a free copy in the link below, in the comments below. If you click the link, you'll be able to get access to this, run the numbers yourself on this property or any other property that you may be looking at to do a house hack. So let's see how it plays out. So we're going to put in the purchase price. We're going to put a 20% down payment. Now, for a triplex that you're going to live in yourself, you can actually buy it with a 10% down payment, except that for those insured mortgages, you do need to have a purchase price under 1 million. So in this case, at 1.16, you may not be able to qualify for that. Down payment amount, again, just 20%. Land transfer tax, I actually doubled the land transfer tax because it is in the city of Toronto. So the Ontario tax times 2 is what you pay in the city of Toronto, which is close to 40 grand, which is quite a significant amount. Legal fees, total initial investment, roughly 270 plus whatever you choose to put into the main floor unit if you want to update it prior to moving in. So that is your initial investment. So no, it is a significant amount. Without a doubt, it is a significant amount. This strategy really makes sense for someone who's looking to get their feet into the real estate market, keep their monthly costs low, and build equity to start. This is probably not going to be the home you're going to live in forever. So if you have that kind of money saved, likely you want to live in a nicer place at some point in the future. But by making the sacrifice in the short term, this could result in a very good outcome. And, after a couple of years, you enjoy it, you live there, you make some equity. You can always try to refinance the property, pull your money out, move out. And at that point, after you've lived in a property for at least a year or more, you can then rent out even the main floor at the market rent. So that is always an option. You're not stuck living in the property forever. So we're going to put in a 5% yearly appreciation. Again, you can always adjust that. I think it is a conservative long-term estimate. In the short term, anything can happen, but in the long term, I think that is very justified. First mortgage of 80%. We're going to put a mortgage interest rate of 4.2%, which is prime minus a half, 30-year mortgage. All right, so rent collected. We're going to put in the $1,400, which is the basement rent currently, and we're going to put in $2,300 as the estimate for that second floor unit, which is kind of what I think is fair based on these two comparables again. Maybe it ends up being $100 or $150 less, who knows. But in this case, a nicer comparable basement apartment is almost at $22.75, and a property that I think is inferior, being that it's an apartment building, but it's an upper unit, is at $23.19. So I think 2300 should be doable. And right now, the rental market in Toronto is on fire, so that's going to be a huge advantage. Your mortgage payment, is $45.38. So definitely a significant mortgage payment, except that you have the rental income to support a significant portion. Property taxes straight from the listing, insurance $250, just an estimate, and utilities $400. And I'm guessing that's going to be your water, gas, and your hydro for your unit. So roughly the total utility expense. All right, this is where it really gets curious. So your monthly payment, that's the money leaving your bank account every month to own this property while living in the main floor, is $1,815, which is actually less than the rent you would pay to rent a 2-bedroom apartment, as we can see in the apartments close by. So very interesting to see that from the get-go, you're paying a lower amount. Of that payment, $1,438 is going towards paying down the mortgage. So from that payment, a significant portion is principal pay down. Your true monthly cost, the money that's leaving your bank account that you're never getting back, is $377, which to live in a property in Toronto is incredible. Like, I think that's such a good result. And obviously this is not for everyone, right? You have to be at the place in your life where you're ready to make this sacrifice and have the money available to purchase this property, or have a partner you can partner up with, or have parents who are willing to help you get into the real estate game and supply you with a down payment. Who knows, right? But it is a incredible outcome to live in the city of Toronto, and over time this results in a very good return on investment as well. So if you look at here, your initial investment is $273,000 roughly. Within the first 5 years, your mortgage pay down, that $1,438 times the number of months you live in the property over 5 years, is $86,000, and over 10 years $192,000. So just from the mortgage pay down alone, you are having a very incredible return on your investment. Add that to the appreciation. So assuming a 5% appreciation over 5 years, that's $320,000, and over 10 years, $729,000. So if you calculate the equity plus your mortgage pay down, you're north of $900,000 in profit over 10 years on an investment of $273. So you still keep the $273, but you make a profit of $900,000. So you'll have an equity. Your $270 is going to become almost $1.2 million in total value. So 4 times your initial investment. So I think that is an incredible result. Obviously, it requires the right type of person. This is not for everyone. I'm at a point in life that I don't know if I would want to live in a triplex myself, but I would certainly consider a property like this as a pure investment to just rent out all the units. This property doesn't quite fit the investment model because it does have tenants in there paying under market rent. So I would personally not buy a property like this unless the seller was able to provide me with vacant possession. However, as someone who wants to do a house hack, it's perfect because it is the legal way where you can get vacant possession, provided that you're willing to move into the unit. And through that process, you're building an incredible amount of value over time. So definitely something to consider if you have the funds available. If you live in the city of Toronto, it is something that I think is highly underrated. Everyone's so focused on buying the newest condo or the newest luxury home or whatever it is with the beautiful finishes that they can enjoy living in, and nothing wrong with that, right? If you've built the financial resource to be able to do that, you definitely deserve to enjoy it. However, if you're someone starting out and wants to make your dollars work harder for you, this is definitely the type of property that you should be focusing on to be able to speed up the accumulation of wealth, especially early on in sort of your journey of investing and creating financial independence. So hope you found that helpful. Again, if you are interested in that free profitability calculator, it is in the link in the comments below. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If you're new to our channel, definitely subscribe and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Until next time, all the best.